is with us today. Welcome. And she will be talking about this very important institution and its efforts to impact the kind of culture, policing, and society that we want. Welcome, Reneva.
Thank you very much, Albert. Good morning, honourable members. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise for arriving late. My late arrival and the absence of our political principles is by no means an indication of how seriously we view the summit. In fact, we view it so very seriously that we've been asked by Cabinet to submit a report on today and tomorrow's deliberations. So I also want to thank the Portfolio Committee for initiating it, and then I want to thank all of you for your attendance. When the crime statistics were released in September last year, thank the Portfolio Committee for initiating it, and then I want to thank all of you for your attendance. When the crime statistics were released in September last year, the stubborn prevalence of violent crime, it was very glaring. And the Minister, I'll just read some of the statistics, that incidence of murder has increased from 16,259 in 2012-2013 to 17,068 in 2013-2014. The murder rate has increased from 45 murders per day to 47 murders per day, and this rate is 5 times higher than the global average. So yes, there's been a reduction, but the reduction is, in general, there's been a reduction in violent crimes, but in murder in particular, over the past year, it has increased, and it's 5 times higher than the global average of 6 murders per day. So the Minister then called for a national dialogue on crime and violence, and this national dialogue will be taking place on the 16th and the 17th of April. But in the build-up to the national dialogue, we started to have area-specific discussions, and the first one was in February around police conduct, and then today is another one in the sphere of arms. Now, the debate around police conduct was very interesting because we're calling for a demilitarized police service and a human rights-based approach to policing. That is the one reality, and then it's also juxtaposed against the reality that crime is increasingly violent in nature in South Africa, and the lives of police men and women are endangered. So likewise, this debate is also very interesting because we have the reality that the levels of violence in society is far too high, and the discussion today is how we're going to be using or how do we exercise better control of firearms in society to reduce the level of violence, and then we juxtapose it against the reality that we have a very well-controlled use of guns in the sporting and hunting arena that contributes significantly to the tourism industry and also to our. So the debate is not simple. It's a very complex one, but it's an urgent one because we are seeing that despite the presentation by guys saying that there has been a reduction in the use of firearm-related deaths, it still is amongst the highest in the world. And a third of all homicides in South Africa are as a result of the use of firearms. According to SHAC figures, illegal possession of firearms and ammunition occurred at a rate of 29.1 per 100,000 people last year. That's the year 2013-2014. This rate has been largely stable over the last 10 years. However, it's so alarmingly high. The Western Cape has the highest rate of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, at 46.7 per 100,000 people, while the Northern Cape has the lowest at 8.1 per 100,000 people. The past 12 years have shown significant changes in the firearms control regime in South Africa, which has impacted on both the use and the distribution of firearms. Furthermore, there has been significant advances in understanding the nature and extent of gun-related deaths through the innovation of a National Injury and Mortality Surveillance Survey. Studies show that the number of registered firearms and gun owners decreased from 3.5 million guns amongst 2.4 million owners in 1994, approximately 3 million guns amongst 1.8 million owners in August 2011. The reduction in gun ownership levels has also been reflected in a massive reduction in the number of gun dealers, a 90% reduction from 2000 to 2006. So while some would regard it as laudable, I think it's also reflecting on the efficiency within the Central Firearms Registry, and that is one of the issues that we must also debate today. So we're saying in those areas where the guns are legal, how effectively and speedily are we able to ensure that those guns are licensed? The Firearms Control Act established a national arms control and management system to regulate the supply, possession, safe storage, transfer and use of firearms and to prevent the criminal or negligent use of weapons. The Firearms Control Act significantly strengthened the regulations over the possession and use of firearms. It introduced a two-tier licensing system. A would-be owner first applies to be declared fit to obtain a firearm license and issued with a competency certificate. Then applies for a firearm license, which licenses the person and registers the gun. Whilst the Firearms Control Act has done much to reduce the pool of legal firearms, which flowed to the illegal pool, last year's figures showed that 5,194 private-owned firearms were stolen and 233